So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be checking out the pros and cons of the Jim Root Squier Telecaster model, and overall, is it worth buying or should you save up and get the regular Fender Telecaster? I'm going to explain all that in this video. Let's get into it. So what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. My name is Ray. I'm a guitar player here on YouTube, and this video is going to be used as a tool to answer probably what is one of the most common asked questions that I get on my YouTube channel. Before we get into all the goodness of this video, if you're brand new to my channel, thank you so much for joining. If you want to consider hitting that subscribe button at any point in time throughout the duration of this video, I'd really appreciate it. But most importantly, you returning viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for holding it down here with our channel. I love you so much. Let's get into this guitar, shall we? So how today's video is going to work is this. First, I'm going to give you some pros and cons of this guitar, and then I'll do a little bit of demoing and I'll just play through it using my EVH 50 watt head, okay? So now, let's get on into the pros and cons. Let's go with the pros first, starting with an obvious one. It's Jim Root's model. I mean, it's kind of like a silly, pro, if you will, but it's true, man. I mean, it's certainly, desirable because it is exactly that. It's the man's signature guitar, and so, like, if you're a Slipknot fan or even a Stone Sour fan, or just, you like this model because of Jim, whatever, I mean, it's right here, you know what I mean? It's kind of, it's his vibe, it's his guitar, so that in of itself is a pro. Okay, the next pro is in quotation marks, and that is it's affordable. Now I say in quotation marks because although this guitar is less than half compared to the Fender Tele, the Jim Root Telecaster, $500 is still a lot of money. I don't care who you are. And, like I said, although it's less than half, it's affordable, but it's still $500. So, I'll hash that out later on down in the video. I'll explain more about why it's in quotation marks. Another pro, it's a huge mod platform. I know a lot of people look out for these guitars and modify them and put their own pickups in and their own, whatever. They're very, very easy to modify. It's just a 1-volume, 3-way, and 2 pickups. It's very easy to work on, and it's a great modding platform and a great tool for people to learn on guitars if they want to swap out pickups or they want to change out pots, or want to change selectors, etc., etc. This guitar is very easy to modify. Another huge positive for me personally is it's a mahogany body. Now, tone woods, that argument's a whole different, video in of itself, but a lot of people really, really like the sound of mahogany, and that's me as well. I love mahogany. I think like 99, maybe 100% of all my guitars are mahogany. I'm not exactly sure. I think like 99. There's maybe 1 or 2. But anyway, I just love the way that this body wood feels and sounds. And this Telecaster is equipped with a mahogany body, so that's a pro in of itself, you know what I mean? And the last pro is actually Jim's specs. Now, when I say his specs, yes, this is a signature guitar, but it's not like it's made to look like Jim's guitar and that it feels nothing like, his USA's or his Mexican Tele. Like, it feels and kind of just has the same exact neck shape and body shape, and it feels exactly like its bigger brothers, its more expensive bigger brothers. So it's not like, just like I said, it's not just made up to look like Jim's guitar. It actually looks and feels like Jim's guitar as well. So that's a huge pro for me. Okay, now let's go into the cons. Now, this guitar is not perfect, as no guitar is perfect, and there are some negatives in my own opinion about this guitar. Now, the first con is it's affordable. And now, again, I put that in quotation marks because, affordable is certainly subjective, and it's, it depends on what your budget is or how much you're willing to spend. And, although people can argue about where guitars are made and, how they're made, this guitar is made in China. Now, I don't, that's up for you to decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But regardless, it's still $500. And that's a lot of money. And you can see a lot of the Squiers are a lot cheaper than this guitar brand new. And, again, it's affordable, but it's still a lot of money, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a pro and a con all at the same time. So I just wanted to point that out for you. Another con is the Fretboard Wood. Now, this is Indian laurel. Now, I've heard a lot of people say and reach out to me specifically and say that back in the day, the old Squiers actually had rosewood. And I would assume that's because rosewood has been off and on of being endangered for a while or being hard to source. I'm sorry if I'm misquoting exactly what's going on with rosewood, but, rosewood's kind of like a sensitive wood nowadays. And so Indian laurel is what's on this guitar, and one can, put 2 and 2 together that, hey, maybe it's because rosewood's kind of in a rough spot right now. Anyway, that's a negative because, I've really no experience with Indian laurel, and this is the only guitar that I have with it. And although it looks like rosewood, it doesn't necessarily feel like a rosewood fingerboard. It definitely feels a little bit I don't know, different, and different in a negative way. Another negative is no locking tuners. Now, it's to be expected. Again, this is just an entry-level guitar. It's not going to be full on spec'd out, but it is a negative in comparison to the Mexican guitar, the Mexican model. You know, you can easily buy new tuners for like, what, $100, give or take, depending on what brand you choose, and you can swap them out and upgrade the guitar, but again, that's just going to be a little investment to help with the guitar stay in tune a little bit better. And lastly, the biggest negative to me is the pickups. Now, you're going to hear what this guitar sounds like here just in a second, but you know, it just doesn't have the same output and the same type of vibe compared to the EMG active pickups, whether it's 8160 or the signature Demonums. Regardless, man, it just doesn't have the oomph. And I actually did a comparison video shooting out the Mexican Tele to this Squier Tele, so you guys can hear side by side how they sound. And although it's not a drastic difference, it is I would say it's a pretty big difference, honestly, in my own honest opinion. So, you know, it's just something to keep in mind. It's not going to have the same exact sound. It doesn't sound too bad, which you'll hear again in a second, but it is a big difference, in my opinion, nonetheless. Alright, so those are the pros and cons. Now I'm going to plug into my EVH, and I'm just going to give you guys some chugs, a little bit of riffs, show you guys what this thing sounds like, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up today's video, and I'll let you know, should you buy it or not. Alright everybody, so that's just me hanging out riffing, and should you buy this guitar? Well, obviously it's up for you to decide, but honestly, if I was somebody that wasn't looking to spend a ton of money on a guitar and I was wanting to either learn, or I wanted to have Jim's guitar on a budget, or you know, whatever the case may be, I think you should go with this guitar if you don't want to spend a ton of money and get a USA or a Mexican guitar. This guitar, like I said, is not exactly like those other guitars, but it certainly does the job, and it plays pretty good, man. It plays pretty well. It feels, like I said, it feels like Jim's guitar, his specs. It's not perfect, but it's a great entry-level guitar, or a guitar that, you know, you just want to have as like a beater. You don't want to play it, you know, and keep it pristine. You want to play it with it, mod it, bang it around a little bit, whatever. I think this guitar is perfect for that. So bottom line, should you buy it? Honestly, I think you should. I think you should. I think it's a great guitar. You know, I really think it'd be a great gift for somebody that's trying to learn, or somebody that just doesn't want to, you know, spend a ton of money. So overall, I really think you would enjoy this guitar, and I think it is actually worth your money. So everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you learned something, and I hope what you take from what I say as a recommendation. It's not fact. I'm just one guy with an opinion. You're just one guy or one gal with an opinion as well. And at the end of the day, man, I'm just trying to help out. I'm just trying to hang out and just share my opinions with you guys. So, like I said, man, it's up to you for you to decide. But at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help out. So I appreciate you sticking around to the end of this video. Again, if you're brand new to my channel and you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. I'm out of here. A huge shout out to all my patrons. I love you guys so much. And a shout out to you watching at home. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay metal, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.